Assalamu alaikum. How are you, students? Fine. Nice to see you again. Today we are gonna start our next lecture, and I hope that you must have your books and your pencils and pens with your notes. Previously, we had discussed about the types of covalent bonds. So let's start from topic types of covalent bond. First, we have to discuss ionic bond. Now, what is ionic bond? Ionic bond is the type of bond which is formed by the complete transfer of electron. By the complete transfer of electron, or we can say electrons, from one atom to another atom. From one atom to other atom. Now, in previous lecture, I had told you that the elements want to get the stability by the loss, gain or share of electron. For the sake of stability, in case of group 1 and 2 elements, they have 1 and 2 electrons in their valence shell respectively. That's why they have tendency to lose their outermost electron, and thus they attain the electronic configuration of nearest noble gas. Let's take the example, the most common example for ionic bond we discuss in 9th class is formation of sodium chloride. First of all, just look at the complete reaction, that what happens when sodium react with chlorine. This is the complete reaction. When two atoms of sodium react with one molecule or two atoms of chlorine, we get sodium chloride. This is the overall reaction for the formation of sodium chloride. Now, let's check that what happened with sodium and chlorine when they undergo for the formation of sodium chloride. In this regard, again, we have to look the electronic configuration of sodium. The atomic number of sodium, as you know, is 11. Electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. So this is the valence shell electronic configuration. This is the valence shell of sodium. The valence shell of sodium is M shell, okay? K, L and M. So conclude, we can write over here sodium as a radical because there is odd number of electrons. So we can write sodium in this form. In case of chlorine, the atomic number of chlorine is 17. So its electronic configuration would be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So in chlorine, there are 7 electrons in the valence shell. That 7 electrons can be represented by Lewis structure formula, or we can say dot and cross formula. These are the 7 electrons of chlorine. Now, what happens? As it is clear from the electronic configuration that sodium need to become stable, and again chlorine is also not stable because it has 7 electrons in its valence shell, and sodium has 1 electron in valence shell. Both are not obeying the octet rule. So if these two elements obey the octet rule, then obviously they would get the stable form. Now let's see what will happen with sodium. As it's clear that sodium cannot gain 7 electrons, it would easily lose 1 electron, and thus it will change its electronic configuration. Can be written as, when this single electron would be lost by the sodium, then it would change in the form of positive ion with the loss of 1 electron. So here, after losing 1 electron, its electronic configuration would be look like here: 1s2, 2s2 and 2p6. This is actually the electronic configuration of neon, as its atomic number is 10. While chlorine, since it had 7 electrons in its valence shell, hence it will take 1 electron that was lost by the sodium, and it will attain the electronic configuration of nearest noble gas, that is argon. Now here it has taken the 1 electron, so it would get the electronic configuration of argon after getting 1 electron. Thus, the formation of, or we can also write chlorine as in this form, or Cl minus. In this way you can see here that sodium has lost 1 electron while chlorine has gained 1 electron. In this way they will react with each other after the formation of ions. As you know that ion itself is a reactive species, that's why sodium and chlorine, they will react with each other and they will make sodium chloride. Now at the end we would write the equation: Na positive plus Cl minus, then we would get NaCl. So this is the formation of sodium chloride. Now formation of sodium chloride is a better example, is a simple example of the formation of ionic bond, or this is the compound in which ionic bond is present. Group 1 and 2 elements, they mostly undergo the formation of ionic bond because they have respectively 1 and 2 electrons. That's why they lose their electrons easily. And from group 15 to 17, as in group 15 there are respectively 5, 6 and 7 electrons. That's why these elements undergo for the formation of ionic bonds or ionic compounds. I hope that you people have got this lecture. For any query or for any questions, you may contact me. Stay blessed. Assalamu alaikum. Okay students, now write down the MCQs. Number 1, the bond formed between a metal and non-metal is A. Ionic bond, B. Covalent bond, C. Metallic bond, D. Both A and B. Number 2, in valence shell of magnesium there are 2 electrons, hence it will obey the octet rule by A. Losing electrons, B. Sharing electrons, C. Gaining electrons, D. Both A and C. In MCQ number 3, which group elements has tendency to lose electron or electrons? A. Group 1, B. Group 2, C. Group 3, D. Both A and B. Number 4. The ionic bond is represented by A. Single line, B. Double line, C. By arrow, D. No sign of representation. These are 4 MCQs. You have to solve them and you have to send them as your feedback. Then we have short questions. Number 1, define ionic bond with example. Define ionic bond with example. And question number 2, why sodium prefers to make bond with chlorine? Why sodium prefers to make bond with chlorine? Okay, I will wait for your feedback. Assalamu alaikum.